All right, so basically this is a thrust bearing setup, and one of them has a ring and one of them doesn't. So I don't know, these don't look like they're very fancy bearings, but we're going to try and make this work. So you need a 6mm wrench, and in my opinion, if you don't want to have to redo this, you need some thread lock. And for thread lock to work, it needs to be on the threads that are engaged. So that means you need to get it down in here. More is better. If you buy the big bottles, they're cheap. Alright, so now for the hack part, we're going to take some number 10 washers that we have laying around. And we're just going to add them into here and see if we can close the tolerances. There is no precision in what I'm doing. This is full-on hack. But, I already have the bearing collars, and they're the wrong size, and I don't feel like ordering the right size, nor do I feel like making them. I have a lathe, God forbid I actually make anything on it. But I think this is going to work, because we're only, the idea is off by about an eighth of an inch, but I think we can take it up with these collars, or with the bearings. Yeah. So there you go. That's the hack for today. Get that nice and snug. Pull that off. Let me go get some grease. I'll be back. Now, I happen to like a product called Super Lube. Sorry, I was just squaring that up. There we go. So I have a tub of it, and I'm going to do some bad things here. Well, so first I'm just adding a lot of it. Alright, so the way these work is there's an upper and a lower, and then I'm going to kind of pack this little bearing, which will extend its otherwise short Chinese life. Because if there's one thing I've learned about Chinese tools, quality is not job one. It'll get the job done. Don't be fooled. American companies are equally shitty when it comes to this kind of stuff. So okay, there we go. We got that in place. And now we just want to find out how high that goes. So about 3 fingers. You might be asking yourself, what the hell's he up to now? Well, we're just going to grease the shaft. Alright. I'll be right back. I gotta change gloves. Alright, so now that we've done that, we can drop this in. Okay. And then we need to do the same thing up here. Now I'm kind of cheating. I could really just put the bearing in place. And again, I'm just kind of packing this in here. That's going to give me the longest. Alright, so it appears that they may have realized that some of these were not going to fit. So now what we're going to do is just get, again, creative. These really aren't bad collars. And I could probably shorten the collar if I wanted to take and grind on it, but I just don't feel like fucking with it. So if I ground off or cut off 1/16 of an inch on one or both of these sides that are passed through, I can narrow the collar. But I can narrow the collar with some shims, and that's what I've chosen to do, because at some point I may change tire machines, although that's extremely unlikely. I will probably build one before I buy one again, because, yeah, it's Brian, you know. So we're going to just add a shim there, and add a shim there. And add a shim there. And then we're going to do this one a little different. We're just going to kind of snug it. Alright, so that's how you make your $90 gooseneck or duck head with, that's how you make it fit. Alright, let's go play on the machine. You know, it's often been said that all Chinese tools require some modification. Alright, so I think that's good. Let's see what the next parts are. Because this kit includes absolutely no instructions. That's probably my single biggest gripe with it, is there were no instructions and you just kind of have to figure this out. Now, I'm going to install this. I'm going to put this together over on the bench before I put it on here.